She mocked me in public. He won't dare touch me. My loud revenge astonished everyone. Imagine you build your entire world on a foundation of clear rules and logic, only to watch it crumble because someone else decided those rules were just optional. What if the very boundaries you tried to respect became the weapons used to quietly dismantle your life, piece by agonizing piece? That Sunday morning, the air in our kitchen felt thick, not just with the scent of coffee, but with something unspoken. The sun hit the tile just right, painting everything in a deceptive calm. I came up behind Chloe at the sink, my hand gently reaching for her, a simple, familiar gesture. But she recoiled like I'd touched her with a live wire, pulling away and stepping aside without even a glance. "Don't," she said, her voice flat, devoid of warmth. "Not unless I want it." I swallowed, forcing my own voice to match hers. "Copy that." "I'm serious, Michael," she pressed, still not looking at me. "I don't like being grabbed." "Noted," I replied, taking my mug, leaning against the cold island counter. A small, bitter joke bubbled up. "Do I need to put it on the calendar so I remember?" She shot me a sharp look, then returned her gaze to the sink. "Just respect the boundary." Done. If I'd known where that morning was headed, I'd have labeled it something else entirely. Maybe the point of no return. Or the end of us. Maybe I would have saved myself a million painful miles. But I like clear rules. She gave me one. I listened. The rest of the morning was a study in silence. Chloe left her cup half full and disappeared upstairs. I finished mine, rinsed both, then stood staring into the open trash can, as if the crumpled bag held some profound advice. It was just a bag. At lunch, I tried to steer us back, to find a new lane. "Dinner tonight," I offered, hoping to bridge the chasm that had opened. "I'll grill your favorite thing." Plain, simple, no experiments. "I'm not hungry," she said, her voice still an emotional flatline. "Going to the gym late." "New program." "Don't wait up." "Okay," I said, a hollow echo in the suddenly cavernous kitchen. "And please," she added, grabbing her keys, "stop asking if I'm okay every 5 minutes. It's smothering." "Message received," I replied. And that was the first time I consciously moved myself out of our script. No dramatic outburst, no argument. Just an adjustment. That night, I ate alone. Grilled the food, cleaned the grill, put the plate in the dishwasher. She came back after 10, hair damp, a new duffel bag slung over her shoulder. She passed me in the hallway like a stranger in an airport. "Late one," I offered. "Yeah. How's the new program?" "It's fine." She didn't slow. "I'm showering." We slept on 2 sides of the same mattress like tenants in a duplex, separated by an invisible wall. I woke at 5, a habit ingrained over years, made coffee, even left a cup for her. She didn't touch it. On Tuesday, I brought up counseling. Chloe snorted. "I'm not sitting in a room so a stranger can assign me homework," she said, sliding her sneakers on. "Then we can do our own," I countered, desperation creeping into my voice. Sunday night, we sit for an hour. No phones. "Hard pass," she said, shaking her head. "I don't want schedules for feelings." "Okay," I said, pausing, then pushing through the ache in my chest. "Hey. Then we'll go with the boundary you set. You want space? You have it. When you want closeness, you ask. Until then, I'm out of the guessing game. That's my boundary." She rolled her eyes. "Wow, dramatic." "Less drama than it sounds," I replied, my voice steady, though my heart was hammering. "It's me not tripping over your lines." I took the trash out again, a small, mundane task. You find those when the big ones go nowhere. Wednesday, she posted in the friends group chat about a Saturday hangout at Ethan and Sophia's. I answered with a thumbs up. Then she added, "Might be late." My guy is on a mission to connect all the time winking face. With a laughing emoji. I typed, erased, typed again. Then I wrote, no mission here. I go where I'm welcome. And put the phone down. Ethan texted me privately. All good? I'll come, I wrote back. See you Saturday. He sent a beer glass emoji. That's Ethan, construction manager. Straight lines, one syllable per thought. That night, Chloe tossed a gym flyer on the counter. They're offering an extended package. 12 weeks. I'm thinking I'll do it. Sounds like a hobby, I said. Hobbies are on the hobby budget. Yours, not the mortgage. She stared at me like I'd just moved a wall. So, you're just not supporting me? I'm supporting the mortgage, the utilities, the real food, I stated, my voice firm. I'm not funding a hobby while you tell me not to stand within 6 feet of you. That's not punishment. That's math. Unbelievable, she said, and left it at that. Thursday, she skipped dinner again. I ate with my coworker, Daniel, who knows when to talk and when to leave silence alone. We sat at our usual diner booth, the one we've used for years. You good? He asked, sliding me the salt. I'm making adjustments, I said, a wry smile playing on my lips. That bad? I got told to wait for an invitation to hug my own wife, I confided. So, I'm taking instructions literally. Daniel blew air out his nose, a half laugh, half snort. You always like the clear plan. Helps avoid stepping on the rake twice, I agreed. He nodded. You going to skip Saturday? No, I said, shaking my head. I'll show up. I'll say hello. I'm not hiding in my garage like a stray cat. Back home, Chloe was already in bed. I took the couch and fell asleep to a baseball game, the sound barely a whisper. In the morning, she had the same flat voice like we were co-workers on a project that never ends. Please don't make a scene in front of our friends, she said, pulling on her jacket. I don't do scenes, I answered. I do statements. Cute line, she said, her tone dripping with disdain. It's not a line, I told her, meeting her gaze. It's a boundary. On Friday afternoon, out of nowhere, she walked onto my job site with a paper bag from a deli. Chloe doesn't do job sites. Dust, noise, rough guys, not her place. She crossed the gravel, blinking in the sun, a forced smile on her face. Daniel looked at me, eyebrows raised. Well, that's new, his eyes seemed to say. Brought you lunch, she said, handing me the bag, her smile softening a fraction. I was abrupt this week. Work's been heavy. I took the bag. Thank you. I overreact sometimes, she continued, her voice soft for the first time in days. I don't like being pounced on. That's all. Understood. So, we're okay? She asked, her eyes searching mine. Right? I don't want weirdness on Saturday. We're civil. Civility travels well, I said, my voice carefully neutral. She exhaled, visibly relieved. Good. Then, as if it just occurred to her, she added, oh, and about the gym package. If we CA and do it from the main account, can you cover it on your card and I'll pay you back from my next checks? I'm not a bank, I said, my voice hardening. If you want the package, use your card, your schedule, your budget. She tried to hold the smile, but it faltered. You're being petty. Petty would be canceling things you like, I countered. I'm not canceling anything. I'm separating what's mine to carry from what's yours to choose. She nodded slowly. Okay, she mumbled, noted. Daniel waited until she left. She brought you a sandwich and an invoice, he said dryly. Yeah, I replied, opening the bag. Turkey on rye. She knows what I like. It landed exactly where she intended. I took a bite, tasted both flavors, then set it down. Friday night, I looked at a map and picked a place by the water with decent food and no need for reservations. Simple. I kept it to myself. If she wanted closeness, she'd ask. Saturday morning, I changed the oil in my truck, mowed the lawn, vacuumed the house. Occupied myself with chores that don't argue. Around 5, I texted her, "I'll swing by the gym at 6 o'clock. If you're up for it, we'll get dinner somewhere easy." No response. I gave it 20 minutes. Then I drove over anyway. Not to push, just to test the air. The gym lot was half full. The sun was dropping behind the strip mall, throwing long shadows across parked cars. I sat in my truck for a minute, watching people come and go, hearing laughter near the entrance. The front desk kid, ponytail, friendly, waved to someone. And then Chloe walked out with her trainer. I'd seen him once in passing, tall guy, permanent tan from spending all day under white lights. They were talking close. She laughed. He said something, reached out, and she stepped into him the way people do when they've practiced it. It wasn't a quick pat. It wasn't a good session, see you Monday. It was two people who knew exactly where to put their hands and didn't mind who noticed. I didn't honk. I didn't get out. I learned what I needed to know in 10 seconds. I looked at the water bottle rolling around in my cup holder, then back up. She adjusted her hair, took his arm. They turned back inside together. The automatic doors opened without judgment. I put the truck in gear and left. On the way home, I stopped by the hardware store. Bought a second lock for the basement room I use for tools and files. I changed nothing else. Not that night. I grilled a chicken breast, ate half, threw the rest in a container. Around 10, the garage door came up. Chloe came in humming. She didn't see me at the table. "Hey," she called lightly. "I'm starving." "Leftovers in the fridge," I said. She opened it, pulled out a container, sniffed. "This is dry." "You missed the window," I said, tapping the lid of my laptop with 2 fingers. Not a dramatic gesture, just a beat. Tomorrow's grocery. Make a list. She closed the fridge with a low thud. "Is this you being sulky?" "It's me not making extra effort where it's not asked for," I said. "I thought that's what you wanted." She shrugged, headed upstairs with a yogurt. I heard a shower start. I finished my email. It wasn't to a counselor. It was to an attorney a guy on my crew had used for a simple, clean exit when he split a few years back. I didn't send a novel. I wrote 3 lines, asked for a consult, requested discretion. I closed the laptop and slept hard. Sunday morning, I set up 2 accounts at the bank. One for shared bills, one for me. I left the mortgage and utilities auto-paying from the shared. I moved the rest of my paycheck to my own. No fanfare, no speeches. Just logistics. If she wanted extras, they would be hers. Clean and simple. She noticed Monday. "Why is the card declined for my package?" she asked over text. "Because the shared account pays the house," I wrote. "Your personal expenses are on your card. There used to be enough for both. Those days were when we were a team." Long pause. Then, "Wow. Cool. Accurate," I replied. "You set the temperature." I just matched it. She didn't write back that night. She made herself a small dinner, ate it standing, went upstairs. I cleaned the counters. I stared at our wedding photo on the shelf, not with sentiment, but inventory. A picture of 2 people who had time and didn't know what they were going to spend it on. On Tuesday, she came home early with a bag of groceries and made a full dinner. She hadn't done that on a weekday in a long time. The kitchen smelled like garlic. Real food. A real kitchen. She poured me a drink, light. Nothing to make a night of it. She set a plate in front of me while I was on a call with Daniel. "Smells good," Daniel said through the speaker. "Yeah," I said. "Catch you tomorrow." Chloe sat across from me, chin in her hand. "I've been edgy. Work's rough. You've been edgy, too. Can we reset?" "We can eat," I said. She tried to smile. "I'm trying here." "I see it." "I miss us," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Sometimes I just don't know how to get back." "When you're ready for that, you'll say so," I told her. "And I'll listen." I didn't add the rest of the sentence. I already know where you go when I'm not looking. She reached out, touched my hand softly. I didn't jerk away. I also didn't cover hers. I let it be a neutral field. After dinner, she moved closer on the couch. She put on a show. I watched the closing credits more than the episode. She leaned in, her head on my shoulder, then higher. Her breath was warm. She waited for me to bridge the gap. "I'm not there," I told her, calm. "You set that standard. I'm staying with it." "Seriously?" She drew back, her face falling. "Now you're punishing me." "I'm matching the rules," I explained. "No more grabbing without an invite." "Right?" "That was your rule." "I'm not breaking it." She stood, anger in that quiet way where no plate breaks, but the room chills. "This is exhausting." Agreed. We slept apart that night. I took the basement room by choice. Locked it when I left. My files stayed my files. My plans stayed my plans. Wednesday, Ethan called. "Saturday's on. Bring your appetite." "Always," I said. "You and Chloe good?" he asked, a little more direct. "We'll be present," I said. "That's what you get," he grunted. "Bring whatever." Sophia's doing her dips and salads. I'll run the grill. Chloe, for her part, shifted strategy. Thursday, she gave me a ride to pick up my truck from the shop where they'd replaced brake pads. She's not a car person. On the way, she squeezed my knee. "I miss when you joked with me," she said. "I still have jokes," I said. "They just land where they're appreciated." "Meaning, not here," she shot back, then softened. "Look, I know I've been distant. I'm trying to fix that." "You can talk to me about work," I offered. "Start there." She gave me a trimmed version of some office drama. A micromanager, a coworker who didn't pull their weight. I listened. I didn't poke. When she finished, she looked over, waiting for more. "You want to grab pizza?" she asked. "I've got steaks thawing," I said. "Plan ahead, remember?" She sighed, then nodded. "Right, your thing." "It's my dinner," I said. "It's the least fussy thing I own." "Whatever," she said. But the anger didn't stick. She was in adjustment mode again, testing, calibrating how far she had to lean before I leaned back. I didn't move. Saturday came. I put on a clean shirt, grabbed my keys, and paused at the door. Then I went back to the basement room, took the manila envelope off the desk, and slid it into my backpack. Papers are paperwork. They're not a threat. They're a position. We arrived late afternoon. Ethan had the grill smoking. Sophia was everywhere at once, setting out bowls, touching shoulders, laughing too loud like always. I like her in small doses. She likes me more as the straight man in her bits. Chloe floated into the patio crowd like she'd been waiting all week to be in a room with witnesses. She hugged people, talked fast, reached for a drink. I took a water, said hello, stood near the grill with Ethan. Good to see you, he said, tongs in hand. You look like sleep happened to you. I slept, I said. That's my big accomplishment. Sophia called out. Chloe, get over here. We're doing a couple's question. It's a thing she does. Icebreakers nobody asked for. People humor her because it's easier. Chloe perched on the arm of a chair, one hand on her hip. Ask away. What's one habit your partner has that drives you wild? Sophia grinned. But keep it nice, people. Ethan stacks plates like they're bricks, someone chimed in. Laughter. It rolled for a minute with low-risk answers. Then Sophia turned to Chloe. All right, queen of the gym. Your turn. Chloe didn't hesitate. He's stiff, she said, pointing her thumb at me with a smile that was almost sweet. He overthinks everything. And recently, he won't even hug me unless I make an appointment. A couple of chuckles. The harmless tone made it worse, not better. She kept going. He's afraid to even touch me now, like I'm this sacred thing. It's weird. Heads turned, including Ethan's. He looked at me, eyebrows up like, you want that? Sophia laughed too easily, then realized it didn't land soft. Silence did that thing where it stretches thin, impossibly thin. I set my water down on the table. Unlike your trainer, yeah. The patio air changed like somebody opened a freezer door. You could hear the burner hiss. Sophia's smile died and resurrected twice. Ethan blinked. Excuse me? Chloe's voice sharpened. Your trainer, I repeated, using the same tone I'd used to tell a guy on my crew he measured a header wrong. The one at the gym you like to stay late with. The one you practice your boundaries with. Chloe stood up straight, fists at her sides like she wasn't sure what to do with them. That is a disgusting thing to say. I can't believe you would smear me in front of our friends. I didn't smear you, I said. I observed you. It was a good hug. A pro move. Stop it. Sophia said, hands up. Not here, guys. Chloe rounded on me. You're insecure. You're making things up because you can't handle me having my own life. I handle facts, I replied. Here's another. I reached into my backpack, pulled out the envelope, took out the stack, and set it on the picnic table without flourish. The top page showed 2 names and a date. You'll swing by tomorrow to pick up your clothes. Don't come by tonight. What is that? Sophia asked, her voice gone small. Paperwork, I said. I started the process. I don't make threats. I make decisions. Chloe's face went white, then red, then blank. You're insane. We're not doing this. You're free not to do anything, I said, my voice steady, unshaken. I am done living like a stranger, paying for a roommate who mocks me in public and schedules closeness like a dentist appointment. I turned to Ethan. Sorry for the drop-in. Your steaks smell good. Oh, Ethan said, looking like a man who just found a live wire under his feet. Sophia put a hand on Chloe's arm. Chloe pulled away. You're ending our marriage because you saw me hug someone? I'm ending it because respect left the building, I said. Tonight just made it public, which saves me time. She pointed at the papers like they would bite her. You'll regret this. I regret learning late, I said. That's it. I picked up my backpack, nodded at Ethan, gave Sophia a small apology with my eyes, and walked out through the side gate. The night air felt the same as it did walking in. The difference was, I wasn't carrying any hope with me. It's heavy when it's sour. I slept at home alone that night with the door locked. Not fear, just control. In the morning, I put her essentials in labeled boxes, bathroom stuff, closet stuff, desk stuff. No shredding, no petty vandalism. I stacked them by the front door and left for a run. When I got back, there was a text. I'm coming by. Don't speak to me. Door will be unlocked, I wrote. I won't be there. An hour later, the boxes were gone. No note, no noise. The house felt like the stage after the play. Props missing their actors. I sat at the table, opened the window, and let the air move. A week later, she tried the big apology. It came by phone first, then in person at a coffee place halfway between our addresses. She wore the ring, but didn't look at it. I'm sorry, she said, hands around a paper cup. I shouldn't have joked at the party. I was frustrated. I felt you pulling away, and I wanted to get a reaction. You got one, I said. Not that one, she muttered, then steadied her voice. I didn't do anything wrong at the gym, she added quick, like it had to be in there. You did what you needed, I answered. So did I. We built a life, she said. You don't just toss it. I built it, I said. You decorated it. And then you started charging admission. I'm not paying to live in my own house. She shook her head. You're cold. I matched the room, I said. She looked at me a long time. Then said, if you tell people lies about me. I don't talk about you, I said. I don't need to. The people who matter were at that patio. She stared at her cup, then stood up. You'll be alone with your rules. Good luck. I'm never alone with my rules, I said. They keep me company. She left. The chair rocked once and stilled. I stayed and finished the coffee. The process after that was ugly in the way paperwork is ugly. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just lines, signatures, calls. She pushed for more than she could carry. She sent me lists of what she thought she was entitled to. I answered with records, dates, transfers. When the facts were laid out, the balance tilted my way. She walked away with a chunk of savings and not much else. She tried to tug on old strings a couple more times with long messages about memories and vows. I kept my answers short and procedural. The separation was clean where it had to be clean. Brutal where it had to be brutal. Facts don't hold hands. Daniel stopped by one Saturday with a six-pack and the silence he offers in hard times. We put 2 chairs in the driveway and watched the street. You look lighter, he said. I removed weight, I said. Turns out it wasn't muscle. He snorted. Ethan told me Sophia is still processing that patio moment. I didn't enjoy it, I said. It just needed to happen where it started. He nodded. People learned where you stand. I learned where I stand, I corrected him. That's the only part that matters. He studied me. You going to date eventually? I'm not auditioning for a caretaker role again, I said. I'll take my time. You can do worse than time, he said, and handed me a bottle. The house found a new sound. Quiet. That wasn't a punishment. I got up early and fixed things I'd been ignoring. The latch on the gate, the squeak in the hall door. I started going to the lake on Sunday mornings with coffee and a book. I called my sister more. I met my buddies for cards on Thursdays. I wasn't out hunting for a story to tell strangers. I was just living in a way that made sense to me. A month later, I moved out of the house we bought together and into a smaller place with a decent garage and a patch of grass that didn't make me resent a Saturday. I found a used car that fit my work and didn't eat gas like a dragon. I kept the furniture that mattered and let the rest go. I hung 2 photos, one of a mountain I'd climbed years ago, one of my old man at a cookout, tongs in hand, a look on his face that said, do the work and leave the drama to people who like it. Chloe, I heard pieces. Sophia told Ethan, who told me, because that's how information moves through men. She changed apartments. The gym friend wasn't in the picture by then. She shifted jobs once. The big laughs and rooms got smaller. That's not my victory. That's gravity. Sometimes I think about that first Sunday, the coffee half full. The rule she laid down like a traffic cone: don't touch me unless I want it. Fair enough. People get to choose. I learned to choose, too. I stopped touching the fire and blaming the fire. If you're waiting for a twist where I take it all back, you'll wait alone. I don't hate her. I don't love the person she turned into around me. Those can both be true. What do I regret? Being late to my own life. I should have recognized earlier that no amount of dinners or jokes can warm a room that someone keeps opening to the wind. I spent months patching holes in a boat while somebody else drilled new ones and blamed the lake. Now I do the basics. Well. Work, sleep, decent food. I see my niece's soccer games and don't leave early. I lift weights because it calms my head, not because anyone is counting. I sit with friends who don't need a script to be themselves. I've had a couple of coffees with a woman who laughs when I say something dry and doesn't check her phone every 3 minutes. She asked what I want out of a partnership. I told her, respect I don't have to beg for, and rules that apply to both of us. I walk past the mirror in the morning and see a man I recognize. He's not perfect. He just follows his own lines. If someone's in the lane with me, good. We go. If not, I'm not throwing my truck into the ditch to make them comfortable. Last week, Chloe texted a single sentence: "I'm dropping off a box I found that belongs to you." I told her to leave it by the door. I wasn't home when she came. Later, I opened it. It was old stuff from the early days. Movie stubs. A note I wrote once. A photo where we look like paid actors trying to sell the idea of happiness. I didn't burn it. I didn't frame it. I put it on a shelf in the garage and got back to work. On my way out that day, I locked the door and checked the handle. Habit. Something my father taught me. Trust is good. A locked door is better. I walked down the steps, felt the air, and smiled to myself without any victory parade. The win wasn't the papers or the party line or the silence that followed. The win was the sentence I said right before I left Ethan's patio: "Don't come by tonight." It was simple. It meant I was done volunteering for disrespect. It meant the next time somebody says, "Don't touch me unless I want it," I won't wait years to notice that what they want has nothing to do with me. I'll hear it once. I'll set my own boundary and I'll act. People hear that and call it cold. Maybe, but cold is better than cruel and kinder than pretending. It's also warm enough for a man to sleep in his own house without feeling like a trespasser. And if you're wondering about that trainer, no, I don't care. I refuse to care the minute I toss those papers on the table. Caring would mean I'm still playing. I folded my hand, stood up, and walked. That's not a loss. That's the only move that lets you win. I'm not telling you this to collect sympathy. Keep it. I don't need it. I'm saying it as a cheat sheet for anyone who hears the same lines I heard and thinks patience will turn them into different lines. It won't. It'll just turn you into someone who forgets his own name for a while. I remember mine now. I wear it well. I don't fight windmills. I fix what's mine and let the rest fall. And when I see a line, I honor it. Especially the ones I draw myself. What do you think about this story? Have you ever had to draw a hard line in your life and stand by it, no matter how much it hurt? Let me know in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. And if this resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more real stories.